G'day, g'day, g'day. There we go. Good afternoon. Thought I'd just do an impromptuous live stream. So, oh hey Virus, you just had there you go. So yeah, I'm just working on these guys. I want to get the last 3 guys of these for this squad need to be finished. Just getting the base coats on. And then I've also got the first 2 Noise Marines primed and ready. So they're going to be worked on. And I've decided that I'm going to be doing 30k rhinos for my Emperor's Children army. So I've got one here. I just need to finish building it. And then I'm going to get another 2 because I'm going to end up having 3 units of Noise Marines anyway. So how is the volume? Is everyone hear me okay? And also, yes, we have the Discord is now up and running. So the Discord is now up and running. So if you want to join the Discord, there is a link at the top of the YouTube page under links. You'll be able to jump in there and join. And if you want to become a paid member, be a part of the members, you'll be able to do that. And yeah, so that's there as well if you want it. So But how has everyone been? Everyone good? Everyone loving life? Is everyone enjoying their 40k? Who's excited for the Emperor's... I know I'm very excited for the Emperor's Children release. The Emperor's Children getting the full release is so damn good. There's me knocking my camera. I'm so excited. Can't wait to get Fulgrim. Fulgrim is pre-ordered. Fulgrim's pre-ordered. And yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, what's your list there, Virus? What have you got? Are we looking at? Are we talking about a two-player? A two-player? Are we talking about an Emperor's Children list? Do you know what? I really should, do some socials. Let's do some socials. Shall I actually be a proper YouTuber, streamer, and actually do some social medias? Shall I? Let's actually do some socials. What are we doing? Painting? Loved your scheme. Yeah, just working on my Emperor's Children. Just getting the last 3 Marines for the in Tormentors done, and then I can start working on the Noise Marines. But yeah, just doing a little bit of social media because that's one thing I don't do enough of. I don't do enough social media. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of socials. Would also help if help if I actually press the right button. I did press the right button. I am terrible at this. I am really terrible. Really fucking terrible at this. You'd think I would be better at this whole social media crap after being doing 2 years on Twitch. But, I'm really not. Really not. Good God, my spelling is horrendous. Clearly this needs to be pink. Can't not do it not being pink. Pink! There we go. Perfect. There you go. Done. There we go. Can't accuse me of not doing something now on socials. What we got here? Lord Exultant, Lord Cataphroconics. Can't get that name right. Organ Dude. Demon Prince, Fulgrim, Lucius the Eternal, 10-man Infractors, 2 5-man Tormentors, a Mauler Fiend, not 100% on that dude. 3 times 6 Noise Marines, I like that. Rhino, I take it it's a Rhino per Noise Marine squad, and a unit of Terminators. Spice, I like that. I like that. It's quite a spicy list. Yeah, I am, yes. That is me. That is me on Twitch. I don't really like Twitch, to be completely honest. Twitch is not a nice platform. I don't really like how they run things and treat their creators. So that's why I left Twitch to come to YouTube's and basically focus on the YouTube channel. So yeah, I'm not regretting it. Absolutely loving being over here on the YouTube. Just one Rhino. Oh, you need to bump that up to 3. Can't wait to find out your pink recipe. Oh, there's definitely going to be a video coming. There's definitely a YouTube video coming. This week I've got a Baron's War tutorial to do for the Knights Hospital. In fact, I can show you a little guy here that I did for them. Here is my Knights Hospital test miniature. This miniature is based off the character that's in the Kingdom of Heaven movie. The guy that befriends Orlando Bloom and then gets his head cut off at the big battle by Saladin. So I've got a little tutorial for how I paint these guys. That's what's coming next. And then I'll be doing a little bit more. But then after that, I will be doing a tutorial for the Emperor's Children. There's going to be a Lucius the Eternal tutorial as well. There'll be a lot of videos on Fulgrim. They'll be in the Patreon and members area because, yeah, there's a lot of work involved on that. A lot of work. I'm using all the models I own. How are we going to deal with armour? That's a very good question. Technically, Lucius the Eternal and 6 Flawless Blades will lift a knight. What the hell is that? Wow. I have not cleaned that model properly. Left a massive big bit of flash. But yeah, armour, close combat. We get into close combat with it, it's dead. If we're the army's fast enough to get across the table to kill whatever it gets into combat with. But that's the problem, you see. It's we have to get across the table. So you want to hope that your opponent puts down lots of terrain. Otherwise, it's going to be a fun day. But yeah, it's nah, it should be fine. You got to remember that our army is going to be primarily infantry. primarily. You can probably go down the route of Land Raiders, like a lot of Land Raiders. I was looking at a list with 3 Land Raiders and 3 units of 6 Flawless Blades, Lucius the Eternal, and I think I basically have a couple of units of either Infractors or Tormentors, basically to infiltrate and steal objectives and shit. I think that was quite a solid list, to be fair. You know, you've got the anti-armor in the form of 3 Land Raiders, and 3 Land Raiders is not to be sniffed at. You know, 3 Land Raiders is pretty scary. And, yeah. Unless we have dire dice rolls. Well, that's why I'm hoping my Emperor's Children dice that I've pre-ordered are going to be really good. Because they're pink. And pink dice are awesome. Ah, coffee. Been on nights last night, so I was a little bit... I was wanting to stream earlier, but I had I wanted to play a bit of Space Marine 2 when I got up. I had to do my YouTube video for what's it called? For Baron's War. And yeah, so that was the plan. I wanted to get that sorted, and yeah, then I was like, you know what, I'm going to live stream. Let's live stream today. Happened to my Howling Griffins group? Someone's been fiddling around with the banner. There you go. I hate it when Facebook pisses about with that. Is that Gene Stealer Purple as base? No, it's Emperor's Children. It's Emperor's Children. This pink is so easy to do. In fact, I'll do a little bit in a second because I just want to get this base coated. But yeah, it's so easy to do. But if I show you how to do the pink now, you won't watch the tutorial when I get that up. Ooh, hey dude, thank you. Yeah, did you go for the brass colour scheme that was in the Codex? The entire brass army. I did look at that and I was like, oh, that would be class. Why do Chaos Space Marines have so much filigree on all of their shit? Like, seriously. Less is more, people. Less is more. What do everyone think of the drop pod? What's Games Workshop up to? What do we think? Is it a new Space Marine Codex, or is it just going to be an update? What's everyone's thinkings? What are we thinking here? I mean, I have a theory. I really do. I haven't drilled out my barrels, don't judge me. I have a theory about what's going to happen, I think. Holy shit. Thank you very much, Al. That's really generous. Oh, yeah. I've got a feeling, Alf, that you are the legendary Alf from my days on Twitch, where you almost made me cry with your crazy generosity. But that is very generous. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you very much. That will go towards the Secret Labs Ultramarines chair. Because unfortunately, Secret Labs don't do an Empress Children chair, but they do an Ultramarine one. And that would be class. Okay, so what I'll do is let me just get this trimmed on, and then we'll do a pink on one of the guys. I thought it was you. I've come up with a way to paint pink, but it's probably not as clean as yours. You always have to practice, dude. Went through a rough patch after the pandemic, but I'm back. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. It's good that you're back, dude. You are an absolute legend. Yeah, that day was crazy. So if anyone who doesn't know, who wasn't around when I was on Twitch, young Alfred here, he come in and gifted an incredible amount of channel memberships, or like subscriptions on Twitch, which are basically the same thing. But it was at the time when Twitch allowed you to use your own value of currency. So rather than, end up paying more because they were set at the, say, like the US price, you could actually get them at your sort of country's value. But I hadn't realised that. So I hadn't realised that that's what Twitch had done, because I hadn't really paid much attention to the update, and all I seen was getting like 250 gifted memberships, and then like another 150, and that like in the UK that's a stupid amount of money, and I was like, holy shit. And yeah, he almost brought me to tears. It was mental. And then the next day he did it again. But by that point I'd worked out that it was in Mexican currency. So, I was like very grateful for it, but was like, cool, it's not stupid amounts of money, which I thought he just threw at me. So yeah. But yeah, he's an absolute legend. Thank you very much, my friend. I want a White Scars character on a bike, or a captain on a bike, not drop pods. Well, well, well. Your dream of a White Scars character on a bike is probably going to come true. If the rumours are as legit as they are, there's a lot of rumours that there's a White Scar character coming on a jet bike. There is a lot of rumours for that, so you probably will get what you want. Not too sure about the generic captain on a bike. I've not heard anything about that. So I can't help you on that one. But cheers, buddy. You are very much welcome in here at any time, my friend. Yeah, so I think okay, let's jump into my theory of what I think Games Workshop are doing here. How this is going to affect Chaos Space Marines and what is coming. So, I don't necessarily believe that we're getting a second Codex in 10th edition for Space Marines. I don't think that's going to happen. One, it makes no sense for them to do that when there's actually codexes that still need updated at this stage. So I can't see them doing that. What I do think this is an Angels of Death supplement book. So it'll work with Codex Chaos Space Marine, and it will update a lot of things. Now, I say that unless they are literally legending a lot of the Firstborn stuff that still has got to get updated. So we're talking the Vanguard tactics, the characters. If there's enough stuff to warrant a new codex, there might be a 2.0 codex. But I think that would only mean if there's enough stuff to warrant changing the codex. Now, how I think this is going to affect Chaos Space Marines is I think we are going to get a plastic Dreadclaw drop pod at some stage in the future. One, it's a current resin kit that is mainly used in the Horus Heresy. I think that is going to get changed to a plastic kit. One, for the Horus Heresy. And I think Chaos Space Marines as a whole are going to get access to that in the future. And the reason why I think that is, if it was in one of the last campaign books, the one with a lot of Night Lords in it, there's a lot of artwork of Chaos Space Marines and Dreadclaws and drop pods and all of that stuff. So I think there's definitely something coming in the future regarding that, which is a massive, massive update in regards to Chaos Space Marines as a whole. So yeah, I think they will eventually. I think they will. I think Dark Angels will get Raven Wing eventually. I think just at the moment, they're slowly adding the flavour back into the Space Marine chapters. So I think they will eventually get it. Like, if you look at the Space Wolves and how amazing that new range refresh is. I mean, like, you're talking 11 new kits coming in that launch. 11 new kits. That supplement book is going to have 20 unique Space Wolf units in it. That's all being confirmed directly from GW. So, you know, that's not like information that YouTube creators are making up. That's literal coming directly from GW. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming for Space Wolves. Now, if you look at the other chapters, likes of the Dark Angels, the Black Templars, the Blood Angels, they're going to get a next wave, a next add-on, and their next flavour. The Black Templars got quite a bit straight away. I think the Black Templars are probably going to get their Terminators. I think they're also going to get another couple of characters. You know, I could see them getting a new form of chaplain, because chaplains are their thing. I can see the Dark Angels getting a lot of Ravenwing in the future, once they've brought out a proper multi-part kit for that bike, for the bikes. So, you know, I think it's a good time to be a Space Marine fan. So all this is, if anyone is paying attention to what I'm doing with the pink, this is a base colour of Emperor's Children pink. In fact, I'll show you the colours I use. This is literally my colour palette for the pink. This is it. This is the 4 colours I use for the pink. So base coat, Emperor's Children. Shadows are Pink Horror and Screamer Pink. And then highlight is Fulgrim Pink. And that's it. That is literally all I'm using. Just thin it down until it's basically wash consistency, and then just get it in the recesses. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. I think 40k is in for a great time. I think if you're a Space Marine fan, you're going to be loving life. Now, you see this part here, just like the Heresy Marines, there's an actual line, a ridge right across that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the colour into the bottom and just glaze that in. I'll end up darkening that right down. I really wasn't impressed with the Space Wolves to say. Ah, man, I will be 100% doing Space Wolves at some point this year. Not right away. I want to focus on the Emperor's Children for now. And the fact that the Space Wolves are going to be out, I will be 100% doing the Space Wolves at some point. In fact, I may have Ragnar Blackmane sat in my cupboard behind me, ready for the inevitable painting video that will be coming for Ragnar Blackmane in the not too distant future. There you go, there's a little bit of sneak peek of something that I've got planned. When it comes to my favourite Space Marine chapter of all time, the Space Wolves are my favourite chapter. Space Marine Second Wave should be interesting. Just wish Chaos got a bit more love. They are getting love. I think we are getting it. I mean, we've had an entire new Chaos faction. You know, we've got a new Primarch, new Demon Primarch. We now have essentially 5 distinct flavors of Chaos Space Marine. Like seriously distinct flavors. So, you know, you've got your generic Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, which you can go Demon Engine heavy, you can go Cultist heavy, or you can go regular Marine heavy, either with jump pack or on foot, or Terminators, or whatever floats your boat. Then you've got Death Guard, which is your smelly, resilient Marines. Then you've got your Thousand Suns, which is your essentially Grey Knight, Chaos Space Marines. And then you've got your 2 close combat Chaos Space Marine armies, which are your Emperor's Children and your World Eaters. And the really cool thing about the two codexes is your World Eater army is basically your absolute blunt sledgehammer of an army. They hit incredibly hard. And they're just about raw, brutal power. Where the Emperor's Children are a little bit more finesse in how they do it. You know, you've got that really interesting chapter tactic or legion trait where you can run, shoot, and charge, but you can't do it to the same unit. You have to do it to a different unit. So you can't just like bully a single unit and delete it. You kind of have to bounce around. You can't really be locked into combat. You can fall back and charge somebody else or shoot at somebody else. You know, so there's a lot of shenanigans in how the Emperor's Children play, where the World Eaters are literally, we're here. By the end of this turn, I'm going to be in your face, fucking up your life. Deal with it. You know, the Emperor's Children are a little bit more elegant in how they do it. I do Screamer Pink, Dry Brush Emperor's Children, Dry Brush Fulgrim Pink, Druchii Violet, and then Dry Brush Fulgrim. Yeah, I mean, that works. Should I paint the shoulder pads and black on my Emperor's Children to give them more colour and not give them... What's the colour scheme in the Codex? Codex on my shelf. Let's have a little look. The one in the Codex is pretty nice. To be fair, let's have a little look. How have they done that? They look like they've gave like a real dark silver trim that's been sort of washed with like a purple. That seems to be how they've done that. They've washed the... I'm probably going to say it's Ironbreaker. And they've sort of washed that with purple, by the looks of it. So you could do that. So all I've done here is just added a little bit of Screamer Pink to the Pink Horror. And then it's just a matter of just getting it. It's been thinned down with a bit of water. And it's just a matter of just dropping that into the recesses. And I'll glaze that part down in here just to shade it down a little bit. And then that's it. This is basically how I do it. Now, one of the things that I do that I'll do when I do the black is all of the black parts I will give it a layer of matte varnish. So you have like a more satin colour of the pink, and then the matte varnish on the black, and it kind of makes the black stand out a little bit more. But it also makes the pink quite punchy. But yeah, kind of getting there. And this part here, just, you know, get your wash and just drop it in the entire head area. Now you can, if you want, just glaze to the bottom a little bit. I will do decals on all of the 10 guys. once the full squad's done. Did I read someone asking about Lucius? How much work do you think will be on Lucius? Oh yeah, Lucius is going to be a fun painting tutorial. I am so looking forward to painting Lucius. I mean, Fulgrim is going to be good, but yeah, Lucius the Eternal is going to be, yeah, he's going to be really fun. Now, I don't like how the studio have painted him. I'll be completely honest, I'm not a fan of how the studio have painted him. I think he's too black. There's not enough pink in the colour scheme for him. So I will be looking at the old school artwork for Lucius and sort of using that as a basis. So if we look at the model itself, in regards to Lucius, best Codex artwork ever. So if we look at Lucius himself, where is he? With my boy. So we look at Lucius. So he's quite black. So the shoulder pad here and this one up here, I'm going to do pink. The chest piece, I will probably do pink as well. This is obviously going to be the skin. I'll do this leg black, but then this leg on the other side that doesn't have the skin, that's going to be pink. Because when you look at him, he's just too black. There's just too dark. He's just too dark. So I'm going to incorporate the pink into him a bit more. I converted a Lucius model before they came out with a new model, so we're painting him in the traditional colour scheme. Yeah. If you watch the episode of Hammer and Bolter on Warhammer TV, I believe on there he is more traditional. I mean, when I watched that the other day, I actually thought to myself, have they deliberately painted him more black? Because technically, didn't he just kill a Justia, a chaplain, a trainee chaplain? And wouldn't that guy's armour essentially become Lucius's? So is his armour pink or mainly black because the last guy that we've seen him kill was wearing black power armour? So I was like, I wonder if that's... Obviously, if you haven't watched that episode, sorry, spoilers. Right, so basically that's all of the shading and highlighting. Well, that's all the shading done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a bit of highlighting. But that's basically how I get the black, the shadows into the pink, and then we'll start highlighting it up. What's this? I bought 2 boxes of the Slangor Fiend Bloods to use as Chaos Spawn. Very good. The Vengeful Allegiance as the Demon Prince, so the whip from that model is the whip for my Lucius conversion. Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. What are they called? Slan what? I'm going to check that out. What range are they from? The Slangor Free Bloods. Are they from Age of Sigmar? Hedonites of Slaanesh. Oh, wow. Them. That's a really good idea for spawn. Yeah. I mean, like, that's 3 spawn for what? 37 quid? Oh, wow. It's a very good idea. I like. And you have some sexy goats in my army. Well, hello there. Hello, sexy goat spawn man. Now, hang on, wait there. One thing to check. Read more. They are on 40mm bases. How big are the bases for the spawns? Are they 40mm? Yes. Oh, spawns are on 50mm. Well, you can put 60 goat guys on a 50mm base. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, just get a handful of 50mm bases. And then you're laughing, really. Absolutely laughing. Yeah, that would be good. Good call. I like that. I'm gonna steal your idea, Alfred. All right, dude. Just let you know now that that idea is 100% stolen. Right, so just gonna thin some Emperor's Children and just get that back over, just to tidy up the top of the shoulder pad. There you go. Right, so this is basically a 50-50 mix of Emperor's Children and Fulgrim Pink. Alright, you don't need to go, you know, mental. It's about a 50-50 mix. Thin it down so it's a bit of a glaze. This part, that if you're not too sure on glazes, then you don't need to do glazes. This part is entirely optional. The next part with the edge highlight is the part that you want to be doing with the mix. Alright. I just glaze that in because it just brightens it up a little bit. Sort of sitting on top of the raised areas of the power armor. There you go. So just brighten it up a bit. You don't need to go crazy. People join the Discord. People join the Discord. Like, you know what? Why is my link not working? Don't get how the Discord app doesn't work for the links. So you have to go open Discord in the website, because that's the only way to get the link, because that's just fucking stupid. Absolutely mental. Yeah, so if anyone wants to join the Discord, because we have an entire new Discord, there's the link. Right, so what we do now is we now start to doing a little bit of edge highlighting. So we get our previous mix that is not being thinned down to a glaze, and then we start having fun edge highlighting. And that's basically how I do my pink. Also, the members price has completely changed. It literally is now 99p to join. There is another tier called Be a Legend, and I think that's $8.99. But yeah, if you want to join, if you want to support the channel and become a member, it's literally 99p. And then you get to, you become green in the channel, I believe, or pink. And in the Discord you get access to the members only area. So when it comes to actually painting the pink, there isn't actually that much to do with it. There's the most of the colour scheme is black, to be fair. Okay. And then last but not least, we literally get pure fulgrim pink and then do that final edge highlight. And that's basically how I do my pink. But yeah, I absolutely love this army. It is one of the most fun armies I have had, and even just to work on them, they're just a joy to paint. So what I want to do is get very, very carefully just keeping the fulgrim pink in between that first highlight. And that's it. That's literally how I do my pink. I'm going to enjoy doing the tank, the rhinos, and the Land Raiders. The Land Raider I think is going to be hilarious because they're so big. And I think just this giant pink tank is going to be hilarious to do. And that's basically the pink done. That's basically the pink done. So that's literally how I do it. You know what I mean? There's not that amount of work to do on it. For the shoulder pad, it's a little bit of rattling grime and tarragon turquoise as the base wash. Now, when you use this stuff, be really, really mindful about how much you're using, because it is incredibly strong. Like, this stuff is so heavily pigmented. You do not need that much when it comes to mixing in with other contrast paints to create washes or anything like that. It is scarily strong. Same as Talazar Blue and Ultramarine Blue. It is crazy. Now, kind of got that sort of dirty colour. It's kind of what you want in. Fulgrim won't have the heavy corroded armour, brass, gold, whatever you want to call it, that the normal Marines will have. Fulgrim is going to be very clean compared to the rest of the army. Because he's the Phoenician, he's the golden one. He is the perfect being. His corruption is pretty evident without having that sort of corrupted, corrosive element to the colour scheme. So yeah, just get that slapped on. to let that dry, and then we'll start getting that sorted. Can't believe some of my reels on Instagram have gone absolute crazy. Absolute nuts. Yeah, if you were in the Discord before, during the Twitch era, then that is, I cleaned everything out, and then started again. So I just need to get this washed, and then I'll tidy up the black, get the browns done. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on these vials. The vials. There's been quite a few people asking for one. When you watch the tutorial, you'll see that I do the pink last. It's generally, I only did it now because there was people wanting to see it, but normally I would do the pink, sort of the pink area last. So this is just going to need to dry, and then I'll be able to tidy up the black areas, and then I'll matte varnish it, and then I'll start the edge highlighting of the black. So while that's drying, I will get the Racar flesh on for the skin. The skin for the Racar flesh is pretty simple. It's essentially just adding a little bit of pink into it, glazing it down for the shadows, and then building it back up, and then just adding in some pallid witch flesh to get the highlights into it. But it's I think it's kind of an effective way. I was kind of experimenting a little bit on one of the other models. The first one I did, I used Reikland Flesh Shade as a base coat for it as like a wash, and yeah, I wasn't too happy with how that turned out. I never bothered repainting it. I was like, screw it, I'll just leave it the way it is. But in the next one, I'll try something a bit different. But I think I've found a way that I quite like to do it. Do 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 ha ha do 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 do. Space Marine 2 DLC Space Wolves. The Trigon fight is really fun. It's a really fun mission. And Furnace Pistol, I haven't tried that yet, but I will unlock it for my Vanguard. And the Space Wolf cosmetics are just so good. So good. The only thing I will say about it is a little bit disappointed that the big wolf helmet isn't separate. And that it is only a part of the champion skin for the Vanguard. It would have been kind of cool if that big helmet was available for any class. They did add Vulpus Pink, which is kind of good. That means I can make my Chaos Space Marines look like Emperor's Children. So does anyone have any more questions that they want answered regarding the Emperor's Children army? I have my first game tomorrow. That is going to be amazing. Really can't wait. Right, just need that to dry, and then I'm going to make the wash and get that washed. I just need to check. Downloads 40k. Key points, balance slates, field, Manuel, Emperor's Children, and number 21. Right, so let's work on the list here. Let's have a little look. So my list for tomorrow is going to be my Demon Prince, he stayed 195 points. They reduced the one with the wings down to 180. Oh, Spicy. Going to be taking 10 infiltrators at 160, 10 tormentors at 170, a Lord Exultant at 80 points, and 2 units of Noisy Marines at 135. Ooh. And then yeah. And then probably bring model rep proxy Lucius the Eternal, and bring him, which will bring me up to about just over 1,000 points. So I can probably do that. I'm pretty sure my opponent won't mind me having a couple of extra points. So all I do for the shade is I get some Reichland flesh shade. Reichland? Rackar flesh. And then I thin that down so it's a bit of a wash consistency. Time is it? How long are we on? 1:30. So that's her just finished work, so she should be home in about half an hour. And I need to make tea. I'm going to tidy up the black in a second. Right, let's just tidy up the black before we varnish it. These guys don't take that long to paint, to be fair. Okay. I need some matte varnish. I use AK Ultra Matte. I'll start getting that varnish down. Right, so just let that dry, and then I'll get the matte varnish on there, and then I can start working on the black. How many minis have you finished? Finished as in entirely finished. 2. Lord Exultant. Done. Quite happy with that. He's pretty cool. From the set, Lord Exultant. And I have my Demon Prince done. There's 7 infractors. There's the rest of this squad are pretty much done. I just have the power packs to do on them, and then that's going to be the unit finish. That's what I'm doing right now, is basically getting these 3 for the squad fit done, and then I'll get all the power packs finished. And thank you. But there's a video up on the channel for my project log of how where I'm at with it and everything else that's there and what I've got pre-ordered and all that kind of stuff. So feel free to check that out. Are you an Emperor's Children fan or collector yourself? So all this is matte varnish. Pardon me. The reason why I matte varnish the black before edge highlighting is it makes the highlights stand out a little bit better. And then you get a very distinct difference between the black undersuit, so these parts here, and the pink armor as well. And it kind of fits with, for me, how the Emperor's Children would look. You know, the whole point of that your eyes are kind of being assaulted by the different sort of hues and textures and everything else that they do. It's kind of an interesting way of sort of visually representing that on the miniature in a way. You got into the hobby very recently? Oh wow! Have you picked an army? You know what are you collecting? Well, if you are new, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It is it's free, and there's nearly 100 painting tutorials up on the channel, so pretty sure there's something there to help you start out with, from speed painting to basics to stuff like that. And yeah, feel free to join the Discord and share some of your work. There's a little section there for you to show your work in progress projects and your finished projects. Right, so basically that's just drying, right? So once that dries, you can kind of see straight away just by that leg. So you kind of see straight away what I mean by the difference. So you've got this satin finish on this shoulder pad, and then you've got this matte finish down here on the black, and you can kind of see the subtle difference between the satin non-varnished and then the matte varnished on the black armour. So just let that dry, and then I'll start edge highlighting. Space Marines, I do love Space Marines. Space Marines are amazing. I've been working on my I did some freehand on my Sons of Horus Heresy army. So, oh, new member. Hey, new member. Truffle Shuffle. Class. So yeah, I think I've got my army sorted for tomorrow. Now the fun part. This is the part I really like. Edge highlighting, because this part, the black, is just entirely edge highlighting. It's just 100% edge highlighting. But before we do that, we're going to do the weathering on the shoulder. So we've done the wash, the tarragon, and rattling grime. Now it's all about adding the verdigris. Now you can add normal verdigris paint if you really wanted to, but I use Sortek green. And this is thinned right down. It's like basically a heavy glaze. It's a real thin wash, to be fair. Kind of just want to get it in there. Edge highlighting is near damn impossible. It really isn't. I'll show you some edge highlighting now. So, alright. So when you edge highlight, so you want to make sure you've got a good firm grip to the model. Make sure that your hand is well supported, And when you want to do it, you want to take your time, keep the edge highlight as thin as you can. And here's where we get really confusing, right? So you want the edge highlight to be thin, okay? But you also want it to be chunky because you're putting other edge highlights inside this edge highlight. So once you've got the first one in, if you just need to make that a little bit fatter, just go back out. Okay? And you just slowly work around the model. And obviously my hand is shaking because I'm doing this on camera. There you go. You just slowly build that up. There is a fair bit of edge highlighting work to do, but just take your time. Just work away around the model. I generally find that edge highlighting a Space Marine is one of the best ways of learning to edge highlight, because Space Marines have so many edges, and there's a lot of areas on that model for you to practice. In fact, the best model by far would be one of the new Terminators. You know, the new scaled Loyalist Terminators? Like one of them, just get a box of 5 Terminators and then practice your edge highlighting. Just paint them as different chapters. So do like an Ultramarine or a Dark Angel or a Space Wolf or whatever you want, but just practice your edge highlighting. I guarantee by the time you've got to the 5th one, to finish the 5th one, you'll have developed a lot stronger hand-eye coordination. And that's basically what it is. It's nothing to do with a steady hand. Like my hand's shaking right now. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I know it is. I mean, I have a bit of anxiety and stuff like that, so it's... Yeah, so just practice on a Space Marine. You know, you don't need to, and don't throw it away. Once you've finished it, just keep it to one side, because when you're going to be able to sort of pick it back up and look at it and sort of go, right, where did I go right? Where did I go wrong? How can I improve on that? And then that's how you do. You get the next one, and then you do the next one as a different chapter, and you just work your way around the model, just slowly edge highlighting. Now, I will say that you do not need to edge highlight, okay? It is definitely a style preference. I am a very big fan of the studio heavy metal style, so that's why I enjoy painting like this. But if you aren't into that and you don't want to do it, then you don't need to. It can take quite some time to learn to edge highlight properly. There's a lot of practice. Some people just naturally pick up a brush and are able to do it really quickly. Others, like myself, taking quite a few years to practice and and work at it to get that hand-eye coordination so it's nice and smooth and precise. But yeah, don't look at the heavy metal painters and think I can't do that. You can. You might not do it to the way that they execute it straight away, but you can do it. The biggest thing about the heavy metal, how do you stay motivated to paint a whole army? The army itself is what like motivates me, like excites me. It gets me, like, the passion gets going. And obviously I'm notorious for switching armies. I will be completely honest. I am definitely a Warhammer magpie. I am distracted by shiny new models all the time. But one thing about my YouTube channel is that I use that as a way of keeping myself on track. That's why I'm doing a lot of like vlogs, like army project videos, so I can chart my progress as I paint it. And there's another really cool element of that is like when it's in my display cabinet behind me and I slowly see the army start to grow and it like new units and new models get added to it. It's like, wow, that's really cool. This looks amazing. And that's kind of helps you get motivated and get you to do it. Like some people will use like tournaments, like a deadline for a tournament that they need to have the army painted for. They might want to go to that tournament and win best painted army and stuff like that. And that's their motivation. That's their thing that gets them to complete the army at the best of their ability so they can get that award. For me, it's I want to have a really cool looking army that I can be really proud of, and that's how I sort of look at it. But army painting isn't for everybody. If you don't want to paint like this for a full army, then you don't have to. You know there are alternatives. There are easier methods to do. You can go down the slap chop route and do a little bit of slap chop, bit of speed painting. You know, you can pick yourself a colour scheme that's a little bit quicker and a little bit easier to do. And you know, you just go at what you're comfortable at doing. I think sometimes people look at the box art and the studio paint jobs and get hung up on that level of painting and think that they can't achieve that, therefore they're not going to do it. And I think that's, you know, you shouldn't be looking at that. You shouldn't be thinking like that. You should be looking at the army and go, these models are amazing. I can't wait to do them myself, but I can't paint like the studio. So what I am going to do is I'm going to slap chop the shit out of them, and I'm going to dry brush and get the edge highlights in, and then that's me. And you know, you work to your strengths. But if you want to improve your painting, then you know, sometimes you've just got to paint something that's a little bit outside your comfort zone. Paint something that you've not done before. Paint it in a way that you've never done before, and you know, after a while, you will start to see yourself improve. And you know, it's like, as an example, okay, the way I'm doing these guys is very much in the traditional heavy metal style. These guys, this army, was pretty much airbrushed the highlights, the shadows, blocked in all of the metallics and decals, then it was oil washed, and that's it. There's no edge highlighting on these models whatsoever. It's literally just all done with an airbrush, done with an oil wash, done. And this army is incredibly quick to do. Like, these guys have been super quick, and they look really good on the table. They'll like the model that I spent the most on was this one, which was because of all of the freehand on the banner. That's it. Like, even this guy, like even the captain, didn't take that long. I didn't spend ages on the cape. I just literally just slapped the paint on and got the volumes in there, and that was it. I wasn't aiming for like a top end table finish. I wanted a paint scheme that I could do really quickly, and the airbrush was the perfect method of doing that. And I have like a full 10-man squad painted, and a command squad, and a Praetor. And I've got like 10 other tactical marines to do, and they'll take me maybe 2 or 3 days to get fully done. I'm trying to paint for competitions to improve my painting. Haven't won anything, but I am improving, and that is a win for me. Yeah, dude, that's exactly it. I've got 3 Golden Demon finalist pins. I'm realistic enough to know that I'm never going to win a Golden Demon, but I've got my 3 pins. I'm happy with that. I'll go back again to have another go at trying to win a Golden Demon, even though I know I'm not going to win one. And, to get another pin, and to, I can enjoy that. Now, could I attempt to try to win a Golden Demon? Yeah, of course I could. I think I definitely have the skills and the knowledge to put an entry out that I think is good enough, but that is going to take hundreds of hours, and that's the thing. Do I really want to commit 200-300 hours into a model to try to win a Golden Demon? Yeah, man. Hey, that's what this channel's all about, man. It's all about giving the advice for painting. If you feel free to join the Discord. There's a link in the link section for the channel on the YouTube channel. Feel free to join the Discord. There's an area in there that you can share your photos of your models. I do online painting courses that if you want to do tuition, you can do that through my Patreon. You can sign up for an hour lesson. And we can go through the fundamentals with you and, see where you're at and see how to help you improve. But yeah, I'm all about the hobby love, man. All about the painting. Painting is my jam. Yeah, this is my next goal next year, is to paint for Golden Demon. And I've started my model for the competition. One day, Alf, I will meet you at Adepticon, and we will have a beer together and a giggle, and we will do Golden Demon together. But for me to get to Golden Demon, I need this channel to be a lot bigger and a lot successful than it actually is right now. So, until then, maybe I might get the spiel. But we'll see how things go in the future. Okay. Alright, so basically that's the black, first stage of the black, edge highlighting. Alright, now we have the fun part. We're switching to a slightly different brush, and then we're going to be doing something different. In fact, I may not get to do the next stage edge highlighting because the other half will be coming home soon. So what I'll do is I'll show you what I'll be doing next. So we get a little bit of Dark Reaper, and that's it. Now the good thing I like about these brushes is they're a little bit more triangular pointed. It's the 323 series. So my normal, as you can sort of see, this is my normal paintbrush, size 1, series 3, 33, Rosemary CO. You can quite see how long it is and pointy, just like the name. The 323 it's a little bit fatter head, so it holds a bit more paint, but it's a shorter and more pointier. And this is really, this brush is really good for edge highlighting. Alright, this is my secret weapon when it comes to edge highlighting. And all I'm going to do now is very carefully start putting the next edge highlight inside the edge highlight that I've done originally. And the thing is, if I make a mistake at any stage, alright, like the highlight is too thick, or I go outside the line, or do whatever, all I need to do is get the previous colour and just cut back in and tidy it up. And that's the same with like all the way down to the base coat. So I know if I make a mistake here, I can get a very thin line of black and just put a line of black between the highlight and in there. So I could literally black line right in there if I really wanted to. And it's just a matter of just taking your time. And just working through the model methodically. But the one thing about this brush is it doesn't hold as much paint as the other one. But you get such a sharper line with it. That's why I generally use it. sort of see how that's building up. But yeah, like, they are going to look good when they're finished. And that's all I want. I want an army that I can sit back and look at and go, yeah, I've enjoyed this. This has been a fun project. And this is it, just working around. I've just realised that I need to put a bit of an edge highlight in here, because there's a bit of sort of crack in the armour here. I'll get that in a second. But there you go. It's starting to take shape. But everything I'm doing here, I've pretty much got a video on the channel. So like, so the leather, there's a video up on the channel for the leather. When I do the leather pouches and the belt and stuff. It's exactly how I do in that tutorial. So, if you haven't yet subscribed, please feel free to do so. Oh yeah, we're literally like closing in on 4,000 subscribers. It's crazy. Absolutely mental. Absolutely nuts. I think we're like literally like maybe 60 subscribers away from hitting 4,000. So when I hit 5,000, I'm going to do a giveaway. That is guaranteed. I'm going to do a giveaway. So bear that in mind. And my new airbrush, haven't used it yet, but my new airbrush arrived yesterday. This thing is a lifesaver because it's been causing me problems. But yeah, my only argument is I can't get this off, but I'm not too sure if I need to. But yeah, that's my new airbrush. I need to christen it, but I'm probably going to use it on the tank because I'm going to be airbrushing the shit out of the tank. And with that, my friends, I have just heard my amazing other half come in. So I am going to call the stream there. And we will jump into another one tomorrow, I think. But we'll call it there. We did some pretty decent work. I made a lot of progress on the army. So I reckon in a couple of days I'll probably have all three of these guys done to the same standard that the others done, and then I can get the power packs done. And the power packs will take me like a couple of hours to do. But yeah, I think they're looking really sweet. So that's the stream. Thank you very much. Alf, for that amazing super chat. You're an absolute legend. And for everyone that's subscribed and everything else, cheers, thank you. Remember, there is a link in the Discord if you want to join it. There's an area there if you want to share your work, and we can have a chat and giggle about it. And I will probably be back at some stage tomorrow to do a bit more work on this squad. Painting videos, there will be a basing video tomorrow on how I do the desert bases for the army. So these deserty bases, how I do them on the army. That's coming tomorrow. And then at the end of the week, I'll have a video for Baron's War of how to paint a Knight's Hospital. So if you're a bit of a Baron's War historical fan, there's going to be a bit of a video for these guys. Alright, guys, so that's the stream. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you all in the next one, alright? I should probably be... Keep an eye on the channel, it'll probably pop up at some point tomorrow, alright?